And that's when it hit me. Simplicity wasn't enough on its own. It felt like the lack of simplicity was blocking abundance from flowing into my life and my business. And I wanted more of that, more abundance in all its forms. So I evolved my word into a theme. Hi, and welcome to Beyond Empty Nest. I'm your host, Jody Silverman, speaker, mentor, and Chief Dare Officer at Moms Who Dare. Every Thursday, I'll share stories of midlife transformation, happiness tips, and dare you to see the opportunities waiting for you so that you can make this next chapter even better than the last. If you're ready to dare, I'm ready to dare with you. Let's get into today's episode. Hey, Beyond Empty Nest listeners, as we enter a brand new year, I have a question for you. What's your theme? Now, if you're like me and follow a few coaches or are active in the personal growth space, you've probably heard a lot of talk about choosing your word of the year. Maybe you've even received a flood of emails asking you to choose one. It's a popular practice among many of us seeking growth and being intentional about our growth and lives. And you know what? It works. And today, I want to take it a step further with you. Instead of just choosing a word, how about choosing a theme? Let me explain. Back in 2022, my world was simple. At the time, I desperately needed things in my life and business to feel less chaotic. As an entrepreneur juggling multiple roles, hosting this podcast, speaking at events, running a membership community, not to mention all my family commitments, things often felt a bit overwhelming. There were all these moving parts, from growth strategies to monetizing, and most importantly, fostering meaningful connections. Simple really helped me cut through the noise and stay focused. But as 2023 rolled around, I realized things still didn't feel as clear or effortless as I wanted them to be, as I needed them to be. And that's when it hit me. Simplicity wasn't enough on its own. It felt like the lack of simplicity was blocking abundance from flowing into my life and my business. And I wanted more of that, more abundance in all its forms. So I evolved my word into a theme. In 2023, my theme became simple abundance. This theme became my compass. I focused on creating simplicity in all areas of my life so that abundance could flow. Simple abundance with my finances, with my relationships, with my network, and even with my spiritual practices and my family. And guess what? It worked. I found more joy and fulfillment in 2023 than I had in years. It was also my biggest growth year yet. Every time I had to make a decision, I would ask myself, will this bring simple abundance into my life? Will it make it simpler and open up the flow to abundance or not? And just like that, decision making became so much easier. Saying no didn't bring about doubt or the fear of loss. It felt freeing. Pretty powerful, right? Are you with me so far? Stay with me, because as 2024 started to approach, I began to think where I wanted to focus next. Simple abundance had worked so well for me. So I started to think what areas of my life could benefit from a shift in mindset. And how could I keep building on the growth I experienced with simple abundance? That's when believe and trust came to me. I realized that to step into the next level of my goals and dreams, I had to believe in myself even more and trust in the process, whether that's my podcast, my relationships, or my spiritual practices, or even on my personal health journey. And listen, for those of you listening, you can't see this, but if you want to head over to the video, behind me is my vision board from this past year. And you can see in the middle, believe and trust. In 2023, this was my vision board, where you can see smack in the middle is simple abundance. There'll be more about vision boards and how you can use your theme on your vision board in 2025. So stay tuned in. So believe and trust. What that does for you is it can take you out of your head and out of that ego space and drop you into your heart and into your gut, your intuitive side. Here's an example from my favorite sport, tennis. So I play in a lot of competitive leagues, and like everybody else, sometimes, I have an off day. When I find myself frustrated from making mistakes or losing point after point, I turn to believe and trust. I place my hand over my heart and I say to myself, believe and trust, which immediately always gets me out of my head and back into the game. This new theme became the perfect foundation to build upon. When things feel uncertain or the path isn't clear, I remind myself to believe and trust. Trust in the process, trust in the timing, and trust that things are unfolding exactly as they're supposed to. And this, my friends, is where I want to bring it back to you. As we close out this year, I dare you to take time to reflect. What do you want 2025 to feel like? What guiding theme could you stay grounded, motivated, and focused in? Maybe it's courage because you're ready to take on new challenges. Or maybe it's joy because you want to find more lightness in your daily life. Is it one word theme or is it a 2-word theme? Whatever it is, let the theme become your North Star for the next 12 months. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Hear me when I tell you this. We're going for daring, not perfection. Go for daring, not perfection. We don't have to have it all figured out. Your theme is just your tool, a gentle nudge to remind you of what's important as your life or business ebbs and flows. So again, here's the dare broken down. You're going to grab a piece of paper when this episode ends, and I want you to take some quiet time to reflect on this past year. What worked? What didn't? And how did it feel? Next, I want you to ask, how do you want this next year to feel different? And that is when you'll be able to name your theme. Name your theme. And then finally, commit to using it to guide you through the exciting and unpredictable year that's ahead. Finally, everybody, I want to hear what your theme is. Drop me a message or share it on social. Tag me in your post. Let's inspire each other as we walk into this new year together. And listen, at the very top of our show notes, you can, with a click of a button, you can send me a text message to share your theme. Heads up, I can't reply to this message, nor do I know who it's from. It's anonymous. And yet, I can still celebrate and hold space to celebrate you and your theme. And I promise you I will. All right, that's a wrap. That's a wrap for today's episode. Dare to pick your theme and let it lead you the way. It works. I promise you it works. I'll see you next time. But here's the thing. Next week, there's no episode. This is our final episode of 2025. So make sure you tune in on January 2nd when I bring Marcy Shimoff back. And she's going to be sharing and kicking off the new year with living your miraculous midlife, what it means, and how to live in the miracle zone. Until then, happy holidays, be safe, and as always, dare on. Hey, maybe that's your theme. Dare on. Thank you for listening to this episode of Beyond Empty Nest. For detailed show notes and more information, be sure to visit jodysilverman.com. Have you heard of the Double Dares? Well, we're a community of moms and midlife women blending virtual and in-person interactions for connection, support, and exciting experiences. From Mommy and Me classes to soccer sidelines, moms have always found strength in community. And as we navigate the empty nest and other midlife transitions, Having that go-to safe space and other women to lean on is a must. Ladies, this is not the chapter to do it alone. Our drama-free group echoes the sentiment of the Cheers theme song, a place where everybody knows your name and our troubles are all the same. If you've been seeking connection and have a desire to figure out who you are and what your purpose is now, then Moms Who Double Dare is the perfect fit for you. Only through the link in our show notes below can you explore and enjoy the first month at half off. Plus, with no contracts, there's zero risk involved. Join us today and get started on your journey of self-discovery, surrounded by new friends who understand and get you. You've sent your kids off to brave new experiences, meet new people, and discover who they get to be. Now, it's your turn. It's your turn to embrace this new adventure. If you're ready to dare on, I'm here to lead the way. Let's embark on this exciting journey together. Click the link below, and as I always say, dare on.